All right, that's untangled. It was driving me crazy. So I split them. I've got to where I'm doing the heel on this one. And, you know, whenever I want to just pick something up quickly, I'm picking this up to carry on simple knitting until I get the same length. I had to split the ball in half because I was starting 2 at a time. And this is where I was saying about, this is the needles, is the sock rockets. And again, I picked this up and it said US1 right at the top here. I know it's blurry, sorry. But, oh, that's so annoying. But it's a 2.5 millimeter, which is okay. I mean, my gauge is, if I was knitting myself socks, it might be, I think I tried this before and they were, I wondered, they were a little big. But I'm knitting a man's size, and the tension or the, you know, the thickness of the sock is still okay for a 2.5. And I'm glad I'm using these, and I think these are the ones I would use when I want to knit men's socks, or let's say hubby socks, because I don't really knit socks for anybody else, and I don't really knit socks for him, but he's probably going to get this pair. I'm going to just use this 2.5 because I know it'll definitely fit him, so I would be worried that it's going to be too tight. And the yarn I'm using is, and I do have the label. Told you I was going to get better at this. This was a gift from my friend who I knit with every Friday morning up the street, and she got this from a local yarn store, or not local to Colorado. I think it was when she was on a road trip. And it comes, I mean, it's just a ball, but like I said, I've split it, and it comes with this inside, which is thinner, but it's like thread. So I guess that's for, should you get holes in your socks, you know, you could darn them, I think. But it just feels, it's not as thick as the yarn, and if I was going to darn socks, I would use the yarn. But anyway, that was in the middle of the ball, so I think that's what it's for. I mean, you don't sew up socks because we knit them in the round, so it must be for repairs kind of thing. So that is the only other works in progress I fetched. I have started hat, Snowflake hat by Susan B. Anderson, and it's the split back snowflake hat, and it's got cable. I forgot to bring that with me, so I'm just going to leave that until next week. The next thing, I do want to show you what I would like to put on the needles, and I do actually have some yarn in mind. I think it might work. I was gifted, let's see, which way am I? I was gifted a pattern earlier this week, and let me see if I can, I need my glasses on again. I keep taking them off. What do I do with them? Oh, there they are. It's getting really windy outside. Don't know whether you can hear it or not. So let me go to, oh well, here's the, I can show you this now. This is the snowflake hat so far, which is there. It's got a cable border, and then, you know, just started the snowflake in the white. And I'm using Barocco Vintage, which was some in stash for that. Let me try and find, I'm trying to think, where am I going? Library. So I was, as I said, kindly gifted this beautiful pattern, and it was apparently, it's in my favourites, and I didn't even know because I totally forgot about it. And it's called, I'm going to try and pronounce this, called Aisling, I think is how I would pronounce it. A-I-S-L-I-N-G, Aisling, and it is by oh my gosh, try to pronounce her name. Justina Lokowska. Justina Lokowska. And this is the pattern. And oh, I'm going to cast this on this week because obviously I realise why I put it in my favourites. It's gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? I love the edging there. So, I've decided, oops, don't want it that small. I've decided I've got to get that on the needles. And I don't know if I'm picking this yarn because I saw there it was somebody had used it in the, in the finished objects on there. I can't remember, but I need to just double check that it will work. But I was thinking about these two colours. This looks a lot bluey grey on the screen, but it's more like a it's not as blue, it's just more grey I think. But actually when I'm looking at it in the light, you can see different hues anyway. Almost looks like blues and purples there. But I would call it a grey. Wow, I didn't realise there was this many different colours in it actually, look. Isn't that strange? I never thought I never thought that it had so many different. I don't know if it's just that bit because the other side doesn't have it. But anyway, this is Fino by Manos del Uruguay, and it's 30% silk and 70% extra fine merino. And I think it will work. It's a single ply, and it feels really nice and soft. And it could end up feeling a bit tickly, I don't know, with it being wool. But it's soft and I would like to knit with it. So this is like a soft dusky rose. I'd already wound this on. I think I was going to do the honey cowl in this once upon a time, months ago, and I never did. And then I, at some point, bought another separate skein at my local yarn store. And so I'm thinking that might work. So I'm going to have that on the needles this week. So that will be a works in progress next week. Let's see what else I've got going on. Moving on, I was going to talk about, move into show and tell. And what did I do with the other? I was thinking I did grab this. This is old stash, not that old, but it's old stash. And I thought on some of the weeks where I haven't bought anything, and I hope that lighting is not going to start casting too many shadows. I better hurry up because the sun's coming around. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. I bought both of these at a retreat, the Florida retreat, and it's from Jennifer, who is Daisy Knits, and she has an Etsy store. And I just love both colours. Kind of true to colour, orange, orange and like I don't know what kind of colour to call that. This one has stellina in it. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's got a little sparkle. And I don't think, I don't know if it says Hardy 2.0, and I'm thinking that's her base, because this is merino nylon. And then this one is Dewy Sock, which is merino nylon and the stellina in it. 400 yards in each one. I did think about these two for that shawl I just showed you, but then I think I would rather just use these for some socks, maybe with a pattern or a texture to them instead of just vanilla. And I think these would be more my colours if I do knit that shawl for myself. So I did have a couple of other things that I'd bought in England, and again, didn't gather up everything. I did want to just get this started and see how it goes, and see if see if you enjoy sitting down with me chatting again, and try to get into a regular routine of it. So moving on from that, I did just want to mention I'm taking part in, and I don't know if you are, that's why I'm going to mention it, the Never Not Knitting Winter Swap. If you haven't heard about it, it's in Alana Dakos, her Never Not Knitting group on Ravelry, and there's quite a lot of people taking part, and I came across it a week or two ago, and the reason I thought I would join it is because I had actually been thinking, with Christmas coming up, and again, I don't know which way to move for this, sorry, I don't have a curtain up there, so, with Christmas coming up, I don't very often get any yarny goodness, as I want to call it, under the tree. And I thought, you know, if I was to go out and buy myself something, then it's not going to be a big surprise. And I don't ask anyone else to kind of get me yarn, you know, hubby or... I wouldn't bother asking. I know I could write it down, but then it's still not going to be much of a surprise. So I thought, why not join some swaps? Or the other alternative was I had considered asking a couple of friends, sending them the money to buy me a skein of yarn and just surprise me, you know, either go buy something on Etsy, an indie dyer or something, just buy me a skein of yarn, wrap it up and send it back to me, and I would stick it under the tree, and then when I opened it, it would be kind of from me, but I had no clue what it would be. I thought that sounded a good idea. I might still do that actually. But the winter swap, I thought I'd get involved in that, and I think I'm waiting to see who my partner is, and I think obviously you've got to knit something from Alana's patterns, probably just the accessories, you know, mittens or hats and collars or shawlettes and stuff like that, and put other goodies in. So I'm waiting to find out who. I don't know who my you know, person that I'll be knitting for is. But the only thing about this, and it's not guaranteed, so it doesn't matter. I mean, I've joined it now, and I'm looking forward to it. But you don't have to get your package out before Christmas. I think this runs into January because it's a winter swap, not a Christmas swap. So once I find out who my person is, I want to say giftee, yeah, because I'm the gifter. So the person I'll be knitting for, I'm probably going to get this all knit and packaged and get it out in the mail so it gets to them before Christmas. Because let's face it, after that, you know, it gets so busy, and then New Year's here, and I don't want to leave it to the last minute. But I'm not guaranteed that mine will come before Christmas because, as I said, it's not one of the things you have to do. I think the deadline is end of January. But staying that, I just thought I'd mention it. It's fun, and it's not like I want to do a ton of swaps. But if you know of any, because I don't really know where to look for any if I'm not normally in a group. But if you're taking part in any, or you have done in the past, just mention them to me, and I'll maybe have a look at them. I just think it's a nice way now that I think about it. One of the main reasons is because, sadly, my local yarn store down the town, in the street, main street, closed. After she'd moved premises to a bigger location, bigger shop in the main street from this cute little house that she had, I guess, you know, rent was probably very high and she wasn't getting enough people in. It's very hard to buy. I know I always tried to buy from her to, you know, help support the local businesses, but when you're looking for sweater quantities, which I don't get a ton of, but when you do go looking down for something to knit with and you've seen the pattern, a lot of the time, you know, they didn't have it in. So I guess if that happened with a lot of people and then sales go down, the rent's gone up. She had to move premises. She wouldn't have normally, I don't think, but the little house that she was renting, which was a gorgeous little cottage, old, you know, wooden floors and everything. I think the owner who she's leasing it from was wanting to sell it. So she moved out, but now she's gone all together. So I can't just like pop down there and treat myself, or I can't even say to hubby, hey, give me a local yarn store voucher, or go down there and buy something for me. I could think that's what got me thinking about doing something swaps online. So, moving on to book talk. I feel like I'm very shadowy, but I don't want to move chairs and everything. So we'll keep going. Book talk. Right now, we'll get back into book talk. I've got a couple of things to chat about, and I was like, oh, they're up here. I'm like, where are they? Right now, I'm reading this. I'm nearly finished, and it is called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And this is for the book club that I'm in the neighbourhood. And I'm really enjoying it. It's about World War II, two sisters. I don't really go into detail when I just want to let you know this is what I'm currently reading. If it's something you feel like you'd like to read, one of the sisters she's married and lives in a house, and they're in France actually, and it's occupied France. The other sister, as it tells you on the back, wants to do more for her country and kind of gets involved with the resistance kind of thing. So it's really good, enjoying that. That's the fiction I'm reading right now. It's getting that time of year where I'm probably going to get some Christmassy fiction books out. I've got some on my own shelf, and of course the library's always got some nice ones in. As well as that, I thought I brought a couple of books with me. I thought in book talk each week or whenever I record, it's not necessarily a review. Hang on. This is going to be cold, but cold coffee, but I was getting a bit dry. I thought I would show you a knitting book every time I record in this section that I've either got on my shelf or I've checked out of the library because I want to see what it's like. And if you're like me, I like to see what's inside, and you can do that easily if they've got it in your library. But if they haven't, and you're ordering off Amazon all the time, sometimes with knitting books and recipe books, things like that, they're not going to have too many pictures of what's inside. So I picked up two. One is actually from the library, which I've checked out before, and I can't remember why I wanted to check it out again, but I thought I would. Oh, I know why. I just found a pattern. But this is one that I actually got from a shop called Tuesday Morning. That is, I'm trying to think of the equivalent in England, but I can't right now. It's kind of a TJ Maxx thing, but on a smaller scale, where you've got household goods, and sometimes they'll get yarn in there, but not a great deal. That sun's gonna mess this up. But anyway, I got this from there one time, and it was only $6.99, as you can see here. And I liked it because of this very thin, lacy sweater jumper on the front, and these lacy wrist, warmers kind of thing. Now, what I was going to say was, in each of my books, I am going to move because this is going to get ridiculous. Hold on. That's much better. The sun's not streaming into the side of me and creating all kinds of shadows across my face. And that way you can probably see the book better as well. So what I was going to ask myself while I was chatting to you about it is, why did I buy this, or why did I check it out at the library when I do? Which I've just said why, because this was what caught my eye, and I would love at some point to knit it. It's full of little beads, as you can see. I really like that. And the other question is, have I actually knit anything from this yet? Because I've got books on my shelf that I've not knit anything from. So I'm going to start having a look at them and say, why did I buy it in the first place? What was it that I thought I might knit, and shall I actually get it on the needles? And as I said, it's a hand knit romance, and there's another, you can see the styles here, vintage kind of details, and that's a really nice little top as well, and pretty gloves. Not that that's my style, but I really liked it. So I thought, if I go through, just while I was saying what I liked about it, it's 22 vintage designs with lovely details. I'll show quite a few of the inside pictures and I can move my head as long as I know I'm getting it in the shot, because I always like to see. So it's got a page of contents here with 22, and I'll read a few of them. There's a fitted jacket, cotton skirt, cotton camisole, heart lavender bags, a wrap over cardigan, crochet necklace and bracelets, lace edged